It is time for another Brittany's Bites. Thanksgiving may be behind us now, but the leftovers may still be hanging around. And if you don't want to eat more casserole or more of what you've already had, well, we're going to take some of those ingredients and mix it up a little bit. So hopefully you don't have to waste it either, but you're not sick of eating the same thing over and over again. So we are making a holiday sandwich, a holiday grilled cheese using some leftover turkey, cranberry sauce, and maybe something you might have had with your charcuterie board, some cheese. All right, so let's get started. First of all, for this sandwich, you're gonna want some crusty bread. I don't have any of my homemade sourdough right now, so I bought some at the store, but I'm gonna take 2 pretty large slices out of here. All right, however you wanna do this, lots of folks, of course, use butter, but a nice little trick, especially if you have butter that doesn't spread very easily, is to just put some mayo on it. Ooh, that's a lot. All right, I'm gonna just not put so much on the other one. Take my knife here and spread it around. Oh, that might not have been as much as I thought. All right, I meanwhile have my little pan here going so that I can pop it in there and get it nice and toasty and golden brown. But what we're gonna do is just put a layer on each side so that it gets nice and toasty. All right, I'm gonna steal some from this side, put it on this one over here. All right, I think that should do it. We're gonna put one side down and then we're gonna add a little tang. All right, hopefully. All right, wanted to make sure it wasn't too hot. You don't want it to sizzle right away because then it will burn before everything gets cooked and nice and gooey inside. So that's good right now. I'm gonna turn it up slightly. Then we're gonna take some of the leftover cranberry sauce and just put a nice little layer, as much as you want or don't want. You basically just wanna give a little tang and a little sweetness, and that's gonna combine with some ooey gooey cheese that's gonna be creamy, and it's gonna be a great flavor combination. Okay, that's pretty good for that side. We're gonna do this on both sides, so that's why you wanna be careful to maybe not do too much, or you're just gonna have a mouthful of cranberry, right? Okay, once we have that on, the next layer I'm gonna do is some cheese. And you can use all sorts of different kind of cheese. You can use a Gruyere, a smoked Gouda. In this case, I just sliced up a brie, a wheel of brie. So I'm going to take some of that because it's so nice and creamy and goes really well with obviously fig jam, or in this case, cranberry. So actually I'm gonna use this one, the edge. These have turned out so nice as far as the sizes I need. I'm gonna go to the other end here. Well, maybe this one. That one. That's great. There we go. This is gonna be nice and cheesy. Then after that, I'm gonna do a little layer of apples, and I have Granny Smith apples here. I'm just gonna overlap them. How great does this look already? It's gonna be a really pretty sandwich too, and obviously we like to eat with our eyeballs first, right? That is good, and I can hear it's starting to cook now. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a couple of more slices on top because I want it to be nice and cheesy. Oh, you know what I forgot? Hang on, almost forgot the star of the show. Some leftover meat, whatever you have. You could probably use ham in this as well if you wanted, if that's what you have instead of turkey, but just take your chunks here and however much you want to add. There we go. Trying to make sure I get pieces that will maybe stay in the sandwich here. All right. Now I'm going to put on just a couple more slices of cheese just because I want it to sort of stick together. So I'm gonna use some longer ones here and go straight across like this. This is gonna be a big sandwich, as you can see. Now, if you want, you can add a few more apples. I don't wanna overdo it with that. So I'm just gonna take this slice of bread and do another little layer of cranberry and pop it right on top. And then we're gonna let it get golden brown. Flip it over here in just a minute. As I said, just make sure it's not too high because by the time you layer all of this up, your sandwich is gonna be burned and done and nothing is gonna be coming together. All right, that is pretty good. We're gonna pop this on top and then I'm gonna keep a nice eye on it. As you can see, it is so big. I might switch it down slightly. There we go. All right, I'm gonna get that going and then try to flip that. The sandwich is toasty on both sides now, so we're gonna get it out of the pan. I definitely did a lot of smushing down throughout the cooking process. This is definitely one of those times where having a sandwich press would be great, but take a look at that, doesn't it? I'm gonna turn this off while I'm at it. Doesn't that look great? Now I'm just gonna let it sit for just a minute so I can slice it open and you can see the inside, but I don't want everything to just spill out. So give me just a minute, the clock will tick and we'll come back and cut it open. It's time to slice this open and see how it all turned out. I'm kind of torn between going diagonally like I usually do, but I think it might be safer to go right down the middle. By the way, nice, don't you love that sound? Nice and crusty. So I'm gonna try to do it quickly and with a sharp knife. There we go. I think I did it. Let's take a look at the inside. There we go. Look at all of those layers. We've got the cranberry sauce, the turkey, the apple, and all that gooey brie cheese. Give it a try if you want to use up some of those Thanksgiving leftovers. If you'd like the full recipe written out for you, you can go online to WBIR.com.